A pair of prominent political pollsters say Democrats are at risk of repeating their old mistakes heading into next year's midterms. Joel Benenson and Neil Newhouse were on opposite sides of the 2008 and 2012 presidential campaigns. Benenson ran polls for President Barack Obama. Newhouse did the same for John McCain and Mitt Romney. Now they do surveys together for the centrist think tank Center Forward. They argue Democrats are not prioritizing the top issues for independent voters. In their polling, independent voters chose the economy, inflation, and jobs as their top concern, followed closely by immigration and border security, with pandemic recovery in third. They say that doesn't necessarily line up with the contents of what President Biden calls his Build Back Better plan. That bill focuses on fighting climate change as well as providing better and less expensive health and child care. As that bill remains stuck in congressional negotiations, Center Forward found 70% of independents believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. And Joel Benenson joins me now. He was a polling advisor for the two Obama presidential campaigns, as well as chief strategist for Hillary Clinton's 2016 run. And he is also the CEO of Benenson Strategy Group. Joel, welcome to Red and Blue. It's good to have you on. So in what scenario might we see the 2010 midterm defeat of Democrats play out again next year?
Well, it's always possible when you're the party in power that you're going to have some setbacks. If you look at history, you'll look at 2010, an election where comparable to this one was President Obama's first midterm election. Republicans picked up 63 seats in the House. And I believe in the Senate, they won about 8 seats, but didn't get the majority. And all that being said, Barack Obama went on 2 years later to become only the 7th president in U.S. history to be elected and reelected with 50% or more of the vote. So I think we like to do a lot of long-term handicapping in this world of Washington politics, but we're a long way between here and the next election.
So how have independent voters then gained clout in this polarized political climate?
Well, you know, I've said for a long time as a pollster and a strategist that you have to win the middle in order to win elections in America. And what I mean by that is it doesn't mean you have to, bend yourself into a pretzel to accommodate what centrist voters say. But the fact is that if you look at party identification of Democrats, Republicans, and independents, or if you look at ideology, liberals, moderates, and conservatives, you won't find the extreme, either on the left or right, have a majority or even a plurality in the electorate. So that's what I mean when I say you have to win the middle. Now, Democrats with President Biden as a Democrat, and obviously having both houses of the legislature, have some pressure on them. But that shouldn't give Republicans a false sense of confidence, because in the poll that Neil and I just did, the favorable rating of Democrats in Congress was what we call slightly underwater, about 45% favorable, 53% of voters were unfavorable. But for Republicans in Congress, the numbers were 40% favorable and 57% unfavorable. So I don't think there's a lock on anything going into this. And I think Republicans, if you look at those congressional numbers, have some serious work to do to get back to being a more centrist party. And I think the more that they bet the farm on Donald Trump, the more they're going to alienate middle-of-the-road voters.
All right. So can you break down, Joel, some of the different types of independent voters?
Well, look, independents are people who don't identify strongly typically with either party. And so in polling, what we tend to do is we will ask people how they identify. Are they Democrat, Republican, independent? If they say they're independent, we will then ask them a follow-up question usually and say, even though you're an independent, do you lean more towards a Democratic Party or a Republican Party? And a lot of them still say neither, but the very small percentage who are always straight down the line on issue after issue. And on some issues, these folks might agree with Republicans, and on others with Democrats. And the key in communicating with them is, can you connect your issues to their lives in a meaningful way? So I think President Biden has done a pretty good job of that when he talks about his infrastructure bill in particular, and he talks about making sure clean water is coming out of the tap in every household in America. That resonates with Americans because We're dumping about, 1 billion gallons a year of raw sewage into our pipes every year.
All right, so let me ask you a bit more about the president's his spending plan. You mentioned infrastructure, but when it comes to that spending plan, do you think that that will somehow help boost the Democratic Party's prospects in the midterms? Because, at this point, obviously, everything is being viewed through that lens of 2022.
I think it's going to depend on how well they communicate the aspects of that plan that really have an impact on people's lives. So, for example, even in the poll we just did, if you take an issue like healthcare, there are a lot of aspects of healthcare that really affect people. And the thing that affects people the most right now in this country are their out-of-pocket costs, their co-pays, their insurance premiums, their doctor's visits, hospital bills if you've been in the hospital. Studies by the Kaiser Family Foundation show that the disparity in our healthcare costs with countries like Canada, 75% of it are traced back to your primary care visits and hospital stays. Those are the real pain points when it comes to out-of-pocket expenses, and particularly unanticipated costs that really hurt people economically when they get hit with them.
What do you think needs to happen with respect to messaging? Just very quickly here, because our own CBS News polling shows there is confusion about what is in the president's plan.
There is. I think one of the things that President Biden and Democrats have to do more is what I said is connect every issue that you're fighting for that's most salient in those plans to the lives of everyday Americans. So, if you're talking about broadband internet, don't talk about Build Back Better and broadband internet. Talk about that no child in America should have to sit on a school bus to do their homework because we can't get broadband internet to their rural community. That's a disgrace in the United States. That shouldn't happen to any child. On the clean water piece, I said, reinforce over and over again, no parent should have to worry about whether the water their child's drinking coming out of their tap is clean or not, which currently they do. So I think the more you connect issues like that to people's lives, the more successful you'll be. The example I often give was when we went into the midterms in 2010. Again, the Republicans did very well. But as I said, President Obama got reelected. And you can't repeal Obamacare now because the simple argument that was made was no one in America should go without health insurance because they can't afford it. Or no one in America should go without health insurance and be denied health insurance because they're sick. Those are things that families across the country can identify with. They're simple, they're clear, and it says there's a place for me in this piece of complex legislation that I can't possibly digest on my own, but I can see a place for me and my family benefiting in it.
All right, Joel Benenson, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Good to be with you, Elaine.